So last class we have discussed about IAM. So in that IAM, we have discussed about users and groups and roles and policies, and we have seen some settings about password policies, and then how to generate a report out of this IAM model I have showed you. And then I have added one user as a dev. For this user, I have given access, like full access, administrator access. So from now on, instead of using root account, I will be using IAM user as a dev. So this user has full access. So if I go to permissions tab, if I show you, this is the full access for this user. So in real time as well, better to use IAM user instead of root account. So if you messed up with this user, you have already backup of root account. So you can log into root account and then you can do based on your error, you can able to troubleshoot the issues as well from the root account. So always better to use IAM user instead of root account if you are working on or if you are practicing something. Okay. So remaining things we'll see later. Not there is not nothing is there, but only the things if here we have to see is like access keys that I will show you when we are communicating EC2 instance with IAM as using the roles, then we need to generate access keys. Okay, that time I will tell you. And I showed you multi-factor authentication. If you want to enable multi-factor authentication for your user, you can able to enable from here. Or if you want to enable for root account in the security credentials tab, like from that root account, you can enable MFA multi-factor authentication. So that is all about IAM. Yesterday we have seen it. So today we will see another service from AWS Cloud. If you come down here, compute is there. In this compute, first thing we'll see EC2. EC2 like EC2 is nothing but like Elastic Compute Cloud. Means if you want to have one virtual server, suppose you need one Linux server or you need one Windows server or anything, Mac, whatever it may be. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Linux, Red Hat, whichever the server you need, you can able to launch within fraction of seconds. So it's a best offering from AWS Cloud. So if you know EC2 some basics, you can able to understand how cloud works. It's just you need to focus on this EC2. It's just Elastic Compute Cloud. Under what service it is in the sense infrastructure as a service. If you remember in Cloud Basics, I have mentioned there are types of service models: infrastructure as a code, platform as a service, and software as a service. This EC2 it will come under infrastructure as a service. So is like main service in you can rent these servers like what are the way you want. Suppose you need this instance, suppose you need one server for 3 years, you can able to rent it. For 1 year, you can able to rent it. So you don't want to go for 1 year or 3 years. You need to have hourly basis. That means you can able to pay hourly basis. You can go for this one on demand. So there are multiple options on this EC2 instance. How you want to utilize, you need to decide yourself based on your project, based on your company. You have to decide. So these little bit theory. So let's jump into practical session. So now when you click on this EC2 instance, right? Compute and then EC2 instance. If you see, this is not a global service. Remember, this is not a global service. On each region, it will be available. Any region, if you switch back, EC2 instance will be available. But if I go to IAM, right? Yesterday I have showed you one service. So this service is global. It's not dedicated to region level. It is dedicated to global level. Entire global level, IAM will be there. It is like free of charge. IAM they will not charge anything. It's a free of service. And then it is like global service. It's not dedicated to one region. Just remember, IAM is like global service. So now, if I go back to EC2 instance here, So see here, it is switched back to region. Whichever the region you want, you can able to select here. So now I have selected Ohio region. As of now, US East. So I can able to see all these things. In dashboard, you can able to see how many instances you have. In all the details related to EC2 instance, you can able to see here. Okay. So if you come down, EC2 global view, here in your account, entire in your account as a root account, how many instances are there? You have launched. How many instances are running? All those details it will show you here. In global view, it will show you how many instances you have been launched in entire regions, all these regions. In all these regions, how many instances you have launched on UPCs, everything it will show you here. Everything it will show you. So like this, you can able to find out. Suppose you have launched multiple EC2 instances on multiple regions. Instead of going each region by region, just click on this global view. Then you can able to find out how many instances we have launched. So based on that, you can able to go into that region and delete or whatever operation you want to do. You can able to do it. So that is like global view. So let me come back to it instead. So now we have events is there. So what is this events in the sense? Suppose we have one server. Suppose we have launched one server here that is up and running. So in AWS data center, they want to perform some actions. Suppose they want to update the OS. Okay, they want to update the OS. So then they will notify you. They will send a notification. It will appear here or it will appear here. Both ways you can able to see. So they will tell you we need to perform this action on this instance. Due to that, it will affect your instance. Please take backup of your instance so that we will perform an action on this timing and all. They will mention the timings and all. Every details they will mention in that like notification. So either you can suggest them different timing. So select that notification, go to actions, so you can manage event notifications. Okay, you can schedule as well. Suppose you want to perform that update midnight 12 o'clock today. You can suggest them. They will able to do it. It's not that whether time they suggested they will not do. Based on customer as well, they will do that event. So you need to remember whenever you get the events from AWS Cloud, if you're working for a project, you just need to be aware it like whenever that happening, if it is affecting your application, then customers will be affecting, right? So you need to you need to be careful here. So whenever user is not accessing your application, on the timing you have to do these updates, OS restart or whatever operation you want to take it, at that time only you have to do. So be careful whenever you get the notifications based on your servers. Try to schedule it based on your customers' unavailability. That means whenever customers is not accessing your application, take that kind of actions on the timings. So then you don't get any downtime for your application. So that application will not be like application is not accessible. Those messages and all you will not get from customers. So be careful on these events as well. These events you can schedule based on your timing as well. They will give you that much freedom in AWS Cloud. Okay. So next thing we'll go to this instance. So this just basics here. So now I need, so this is my Windows laptop. This is my Windows laptop. I have my Windows laptop. So now I need one more Windows system. I see either you can able to buy one physical Windows laptop, right? Now I have a cloud. Why should I buy laptop? Another laptop. Wasting of money, right? So now I need one more Windows server. Go just launch an instance here. Instance, virtual machine, server, everything is same. Naming is different. Just remember, some people they will call instance, some people they will call server, some people they will call virtual machine, some people they will call VM. Everything is same. EC2, everything is same. It's a server. It's a virtual machine. That means it's like virtual server. You are launching it. you can't able to see physically. You can't able to touch that physical server. It's like virtual, somewhere it has been launched, but you can able to access that server. That is like EC2. Okay. So now just naming, if you want to give e first EC2. It's up to you. If you want to give the name, or you can able to give. First thing, name you have to give, and then second thing, application and OS images. So here you need to select which type of OS you need. See, there are multiple will there. Suppose if I click on browse AMIs, so here quick start AMIs, my AMIs marketplace. If you see 9,281 AMIs are there. That means this many OSs they have available here. So just be careful. As a free tier account, we will we will use this quick start AMIs. So now let me go to Windows. Yeah, if you see Windows 2022 or 2019 base or whatever it may be, you can able to select. So now I will select this one, Windows 2019 base. Okay. So now my OS is selected. I need one Windows system. I'll launch one more Linux as well. Don't worry. As of now, I need only Windows. I've selected my OS. That means whenever you buy laptop, right, without any OSs, you will insert some disk and you will install that OSs, right? The same step I'm performing here. I'm selecting that OS, Windows OS, and then I need to select. When you're buying a laptop, you will look for that CPU and memory, right? How much RAM it's required, 4 GB or 8 GB or 16 GB or 24 GB. Like that you will choose, right? Same way here, we need to choose how much CPU and how much memory we need. So as of now, for free tier, T2.micro, I will tell you what is this T2.micro and all. Don't worry. As of now, 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. I'm selecting 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. I'm not selecting 4 GB or 8 GB and all. I'm just selecting 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. This is like least. This is the least from T2 0.5 GB memory also available. So now I'm selecting 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. Okay, this is my RAM I have selected. So now when you want to log into this instance, that means whenever you want to log in to this EC2 instance, you need some password and all, right? As same as it requires some key pair. I'll tell you this key pair. So now there are two options. So if you click on create key pair, so two options will be there: PEM file and PPK file. So using public key, if you want to log in EC2 instance, that means server, you can go for this PEM. Suppose if you want to log in your server as private key, you can go for this PPK. Okay, so let me download this PPK. I need to go with private. So now let me enter my first EC2 key pair name. It's up to you. What are the key pair you want to give? You can able to give it. So just create a key pair. It will be downloaded to your local as well. I'll show you. So now my key pair is selected. So networking settings, just leave it as it is, and we can see security groups. So these security groups are nothing but, so you have a server, right? So suppose physically or virtually you're launching one server. Which traffic you want to allow? That means who can access your server, or which traffic can go out from your server to outside. All those things you can control by using these security groups. So now, as of now, I'm just allow RDP only. Just size that C drive, like in this my system I have C drive, right? This is my system, I have C drive. So likewise, if you need a like root device, like root drive for your system, you can configure this one. It's up to you. It can go to 16 TB. So maximum it can go to 16 TB. As of now, I'm using 30 GB only. Okay. So now one more thing, in advanced details, you can see this user data session. So what is this user data means? Suppose while instance is getting launched, if you want to install some application while launching instance only, you can able to provide some script. So that script will call bootstrap. I will tell you later, don't worry. So now that's it. So main thing, simply if you want to launch an instance, just give a name and select OS and select instance type and keep here. That's it. You don't need to do anything. If you want to launch with same configuration 10 instance or 100 instance, you can able to provide the number here. But now I need only one instance. So just I don't want, just launch an instance. That's it. Within fraction of seconds, you can able to see one Windows server. So here, this is my Windows server. It's in pending state as of now. It will get launched. It will come to running state after a few minutes, few seconds. So now if you come down, if I select that instance, you can able to see instance ID and public IP address and private IP address and everything it will get attached. VPC, everything. Then if you go to security, so here you can able to see which traffic is allowed for EC2 instance and networking and storage, how much drives you have attached. 30 GB I have attached only one C drive. You can attach multiple devices as well. So like this, all the details you can able to check here. Monitoring, CPU, everything you can able to capture and tags. If you have created any tags, you can able to see as well. So all those details you can able to see here. So let me try to connect this instance. So now it is running. It has to come 2 by 2 here. Status check is there, right? It has to come 2 by 2. So there is a status check in AWS Cloud for all EC2 instance. It has to come 2 by 2. So what is this status check in a sense? So there is two things. One is like system status check and then instance status check. So now we have created EC2 instance, right? So somewhere in this Ohio region, in North Virginia region, it is getting launched. My EC2 instance is getting launched in North Virginia region. So in this region, I'm launching my EC2 instance. Okay. So in this Virginia region, there will be some data centers. As I mentioned earlier, there will be some availability zones. Data centers is nothing but availability zones. In that availability zones, somewhere like in physical racks, my server is getting launched now. So that wherever it is getting launched, that hardware is fine or not, that it will check one thing, system status check. System status check is nothing but wherever our EC2 instance is getting launched, that hardware, that system is working fine or not, that is the first check they will do. Once it is fine, then our instance will get launched. Once it is launched, whether it is accessible via network or not, that they will check. These are like by default checks. They will not do manual. It's automated checks. They will be set up on their racks and all. So that is the second instance status check. If someone asks you what are the two status checks for EC2 instance in a sense, first one system status check and then second one instance status check. Just remember, instance status check is nothing but wherever our EC2 instance getting launched, that particular system hardware is working fine or not, they will check. If it is working fine, then our EC2 instance it will get launched. Once it is launched on that system, whether it is accessible via internet or not, they will check. That is the second thing, instance status check. These two status checks, just remember. If someone asks you, you have to tell what are these two status checks. See here, it has been passed and then it has been passed. So both again it is going back to running. Again it is going to initializing state. It will take some minutes to come online. Just remember these are these two status checks for any instance, not only for this one. Any instance, these are the two status checks has to be completed. Otherwise, you're not able to log into this instance. You can able to log in, but some disadvantages will be there. Okay, just remember For any EC2 instance, see here, system reachability check passed and instance reachability check passed. So these two statistics has to be passed. Then only your instance will be up and running without any issues. If you go this side, right side, you can able to see availability zone. It has been launched into 1C, okay, and public IP address, and then everything you can able to see here. So now I need to connect my Windows server. Okay, so from now, so now if I want to connect my Windows server, I need a password. So Windows servers, just click on this um, connect. So we have RDB client. So now here get password. So now I need to upload my private key. So the key I have downloaded from my while creating EC2 instance, right? So that I need to select. So now this is my private key. I'll select decrypt the password. Okay, the key it is. 1 second. Let me open with. Is the public key. Okay, I have downloaded this one. So let me launch one more instance with PIM. Okay, so just be with me. So first setup Windows, download your base T2 micro. So now what I will do, create key pair. Setup. I need PIM file now because I need to have that key. So now just launch an instance. So now I have launched one instance, one more EC2 instance. Let me delete this instance. So if you want to delete that EC2 instance, just go to instance state, terminate. So that much easy. If you don't want that server, you can able to terminate as well. They will not ask you why you are deleting and all. So the time you have utilized for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, for that period only you have to pay amount for AWS Cloud. So nothing to worry. So that much easy in AWS Cloud if you want to have one server. So now I have launched one more server because with the private key I don't see any begin or end of key. So let me download this PEM file as well. So which has that public key. So for Windows Server, either you can connect from here as well, or in your laptop by default you will see this one, remote desktop connection. So using this connection, you can able to connect your Windows Server. So let me show you. So once it is launched, so now it is running. So what I will do, I will not wait for statistics, as I know. First, like for your knowledge, I have mentioned before it has to come 2 by 2. So basically, if it is in running state, you can able to do a login as well. So let me connect DB client. So here I need to get password. Okay, we need to wait for 4 minutes to be instance launched. Just will wait. Just we will wait for minutes. Meanwhile, we will launch one more instance with Linux as well. So let me launch my First, Linux. So now in Linux, you will be having multiple options. In Linux, we'll have Red Hat, Debian based, Ubuntu based, like SUSE based. Based on different Linux based families, you can go for it. But now I'll go for Amazon Linux only. Amazon, they have used Linux as a base. They have developed one more Linux system. So that Linux I'm selecting, it's same as Linux only. Then I'm leaving as it is, and then key pair. Let me create a key pair. So now I'll go for this ppk file. Linux helper. See, it's not that every time we have to use like different key pairs. If it is like Windows Server, I can use this same like PEM file as a key pair. Okay, just remember you can able to use same key pairs for different EC2 instance. Either if you want to create new key pairs for every instance, you can able to create. Okay, so just leave it and launch an EC2 instance. So now I have two instances in my account. One is like Windows Server and one is like Linux Server. So now this one is like terminated. Just leave it. It will go. It will disappear within few minutes. You don't need to worry. So now let me connect this Windows Server and DB client. Let's see whether we'll be able to. So administrator is the username and get password. So now let me go to my downloads page. Test EC2. Okay. So this is the key. Just copy this key for only for Windows system. You have to do this one if you want to get the password. Okay, just decrypt the password. So now this is my password. So you can able to change it. Log into your account, log into server and change the password as well. So just save it here. So just cancel it. So to log into this account, to into this server, either you can connect from here. It's up to you. Go to this EC2 serial console. Just you can select this one and you can able to connect, or you can able to connect here as well. So either go to your local, you'll get this RDP, okay, a remote desktop connection. Then copy this public IP of your IP address of your EC2 instance. Just put it here. Then go to show options. It will ask you the username. Just type administrator. Administrator. Just connect. Okay, now it will ask you the password. The password you have downloaded, like copied, just copy this password and then paste it. So now you click on this yes. Now see, I have one more Windows server. So this much, like this much is it's like very easy. If you want to have any servers based on your requirement, you can able to launch a number of Windows servers or a number of Linux servers as well. Like this, you can able to connect the Windows server. It will take some time to boot up, so it will come. So it is loading that configurations. It's first time, right? So it is loading that configurations and it is setting up the drives. And see, now Windows Server is back. So everything it's same as Windows Server, but it's like virtual. It's not physical, it's a virtual. You can able to do all operations what you're performing on your local laptop. Anything can be done here. Okay, there is no restrictions. You can able to control this mission. See here, everything is same. File Explorer. Like if I open this one, so see here they will have C drive. That C drive means it's like root device. So here local C drive, everything it will have as same as your Windows laptop. So like this you can able to connect Windows Server from your local, which is running on AWS Cloud. Just remember this one by default it will be available in your system in your laptop. remote desktop connection, it will be available. If you want to connect only Windows servers from your local, any cloud, not only for this Amazon, any Windows server which is running on the cloud, if you want to connect using this remote desktop connection, you can able to connect. You need username, IP address, or sometimes they will provide you server name as well. Name it will be there. That server name, username and password is the, you need to have. Then only you can able to log in that servers from your local. So like that you can able to connect the Windows server. So now what I will do means, now I am into server, right? I am able to log in. Just I will close this one again. So what I will do means, in this security tab, okay, so you can able to see, let me click on the security, okay, security groups. In EC2 there is like one security group, security is there, security groups is the name. So it has both inbound and outbound rules. So what it will do means, basically anything related to see here, security groups, what it will do means, it is the security component for your EC2 instance. That means it will control which which user can access from which IP address, or which traffic has to be blocked. So these controls can be done using these security groups only. So in these security groups, main thing you have to remember, one security group can be attached to multiple EC2 instance. Just remember, one security group you can attach to multiple EC2 instances. So you can control by using the security groups which traffic can be allowed, which traffic can be blocked. Everything can be controlled using this one. So let me show you the demo as well. So just remember these port numbers. So if you want to connect Linux server, 22 port number has to be open in security groups. Otherwise, you can't able to connect Linux servers. If it is FTP protocol, 21, and then SFTP again 22, and HTTP like 80, HTTPS is like 443, and remote Windows server. If you want to log into Windows server, 3389 is the port number, RDP port number has to be open. So these port numbers you have to remember. These are the basic port numbers. So if I go to browser, right, if you see here, HTTPS is there. So in Amazon application, they might be open 443 port number. That is the reason we are able to access this application. If it is like unsecured application, some applications should be there. Without this lock, not secure, it will be showing. That port number HTTP. That port number is like 80. So just remember these port numbers. HTTP port number is like 80. HTTPS port number is like 443. RDP port number is like 3389, 3389, and SSH port number is like 22. So let me go back here. So in this my EC2 instance, this security group has been attached. That means it will control all traffic has to be allowed, which traffic has to go out from the server. So now if I come down, if you see in this security group inbound rules, I can see one rule. So one rule, RDP type 3389 is the port number, is opened, and then from everywhere, this one, if it is like 0, from everywhere it has been opened. So let me delete this one now. Save rule. So now in this security group nothing is allowed. So let me try to connect again. So from my local, so now if I same IP, if I go back to instances, IP details, see here 52.91.204 is there. 52.91.204 as administrator. Just click on this connect. So now it will not go further this one. It is keep on initiating the remote connection only, but it can't able to connect. Why? Because we haven't allowed the traffic for this instance. See, I can't able to connect. Why? Because using the security groups. Security groups at instance level, it will play main role. Which traffic has to be allowed, which traffic has to be blocked. So in these secured groups, I didn't allow this RDP port number. So that is the reason I'm not able to connect. If you want to connect, compulsory in this inbound rules, edit inbound rules, add rule. So here you will be having TCP like RDP. Sorry, RDP port number 3389. So here from anywhere IPv4 address, anyone can access this instance. Save rule. So now if I try to connect, see now it will ask the password. Why? Because we have allowed the traffic. So like this, you need to control anything EC2 instance using the security groups. Who can access? Who you want to block? That things you can control in these security groups. As same as in Windows Server. If I go to my Linux server, here as I mentioned, port 22 has to be open in the security groups. If I click on the security groups, inbound rule, if you see SSH port number 22 is open. If this port number is not open, you can't able to connect the EC2 instances for Linux missions. Linux missions 22 port number has to be open, SSH port number. For Windows missions 3389 RDP port number has to be open. Then only you can able to connect the EC2 instances which is running on the cloud. Not only for this one, Azure also same, Google Cloud also same. Wherever you go, for Windows Server 3389 port number has to be open if you want to connect. And SSH port number 22 has to be open. Then only you can able to connect the EC2 instances which is running on the uh, cloud. So let me, as of now, I have showed you how to launch EC2 instance of Windows and how to connect and how we can use these secret groups as a security point I have mentioned. So now I have my Linux machine. How to connect this Linux machine from your local? So Windows machines by default it is there. RDP, like this one is there by default in your system. Let me sorry. By default you have this one RD, remote desktop connection is there. Now you can able to connect easily. So for Linux, how you can connect? This is my Windows machine. How to connect instance? There is one software. So Putty, you need to install Putty in your system. So using this Putty or some mobile from different softwares is there. So let me type that names. We have Putty as well as mobile extra. So there is let me type it here only. So this is one software. If you want to connect the Linux servers or Windows servers, whatever any servers, if you want to connect, you can able to connect this using this mobile extra. You need to download. It's a free software. You can able to connect in real time as well. They might be using this mobile extra or they might be using this Putty. Two connections, two applications they will be using to connect the Windows like Windows servers or Linux server, whatever the servers they want to connect. Okay, so now from RDP you can remote desktop connection you can able to connect Windows servers. If you want to connect Linux servers, you can go through via Putty or mobile extra. So now I will be using this Putty. So how to connect an instance? Same, just copy public IP address. But real time, just remember, in real time, you don't see public IP address because you will be on VPN. But this is my public network. I'm not in VPN. If you have VPN, you will get only the private IP address. Then you need to use this private IP address to connect from Putty. Just remember, if you don't have public IP address, go with private IP. Just don't ask them provide public IP address. For learning purpose, we are showing this public IP address, but in real time, you don't see any public IP address because why? Because if you are allowing public IP address, if it someone there might be chances to hack the servers which is running on your system, like in your cloud. So just remember There will be private IPS address only. Using this private IP address, you can able to connect. For learning purpose, I'm using this public IP address. So just paste it here. So now, if you see here, SSH connection is there. Just click on this plus, select this auth. Okay, just remember, once you paste the IP address of your server, just click on this SSH, just select auth, and then you need to browse the key pair which you have downloaded as PPK. It will not work for .pem file. Just remember, Linux servers, if you want to connect it from your local, PPK file is mandatory. Okay, PPK. Just click on this open. So now accept. So now I'm into server. So EC2 by default for Amazon Linux, EC2 hyphen use the username. They have set by default EC2 hyphen is the username. Just click on. Server to server it will vary. So now I am into server. So if you want to see which OS and all, so this is my Amazon Linux server. So you can do whatever the operation you want. This is the Linux server. So just remember, it's much easy if you want to create a one Linux server within cloud. You don't need to install some hypervisor. You don't need to do anything. Just go to cloud, launch an Linux server, just log in via putty or whatever the way you require. Okay, this is that much easy in AWS cloud if you need one server. Okay, you don't need to spend much money. How much time you're using the server, that much time only you have to pay them. So you don't need to worry physical. Okay, just remember that much easy. So that is one way to connect any server. Now you told that I don't want to connect via putty and all. I need to have simpler version. Then select that instance. Go to here connect. Okay, just click on this connect. Why it is showing? Connect to instance using. Okay, EC2 instance connect. Just select this one. Just connect this one. So now using from web browser as well, I can able to connect my Linux servers. So it is as same as this one, it has been connected. So if you want to see same commands, it will work here as well. So this is another option we have to connect our Linux servers from web-based as well. If you don't want to use putty, then you can able to connect. Select that Linux instance, click on this connect, EC2 instance connect, just connect. It will launch this one. So everything is same inside, but how we want to connect, that is up to you. Okay, that is the second way of to connect the Linux servers from your local. Okay, so there is another way. Suppose they didn't provide you the PPK file to connect your Linux servers from your local. Only they have given you this type of key, PEM file, not PPK file. If you want to connect the Linux servers from your local using putty, okay, you need to have PPK file. Just remember. If you don't have MobiXtrum, if you have MobiXtrum, then you can able to use PEM. So, but if you have putty, only putty you have option to connect your servers. So they told that we can't able to install MobiXtrum on your laptop. You need to connect via putty only. Okay, they didn't enable this connect option as well. In this browser, we have seen this connect option, right? So this connect option we have seen it. So this is also they blocked it. They don't have MobiXtrum. Only putty they have. That too, they provided you this PEM file. Okay, if you want to connect via putty, you need PPK file must and should. So now what you will do means there is one more software to putty gen. If you install putty, it will come putty gen as well. So this putty gen it will come. So using this putty gen, we need to convert this PEM file into PPK file. Just remember, if they don't give you MobiXtrum access, or connect option from web browser, only they gave you putty and then PIM file they have give you. Then if you want to connect that server, you need to have PPK. So then you need to convert this PEM file into PPK. How to convert in the sense using this putty key generator. This one software you have to install in your system. Then here not generate, just load. Just remember, see here, just load here. Go to downloads, load that PEM file. Just remember all files. PEM file you have to load. So just click on OK. Okay. So now once you load that PEM file, just save private key. Yes. So let me put it in here. I'll give test. Okay. Save. So now if you see, test ppk file has been created. Using this ppk file, now we can able to connect server using this ppk file. So like that, you can able to connect. You can able to convert PEM file into ppk file. Just remember. So this is a third option. If you have only PEM file, you have only putty, then you need to convert this PEM file into ppk file. Then you can able to connect. So this is like third method. So just remember how to launch an EC2 instance. What port has to be open for these EC2 instances? For Windows, RDP port number 3389. For Linux server, 22 port number, SSH port number has to be open. Just remember. So now what I will do means I will launch one more server. Okay. So to show that user data, as I showed you, what is that user data means? So user data. So here, whenever EC2 instance is getting launched, while launching itself, if you want to install something, any software or anything, if you want to download some file from internet, anything if you want to do, those details you can able to mention in this user data section while launching EC2 instance. So what I will do means, let me show you here as well. So launch instance. Okay, I will launch Linux server only. So I'll not give any name. I'll select this Amazon Linux. I'll leave everything as it is. Just launch. Sorry. Oh God. Okay. So now I'll go down advanced details. So here you will see user data. So here I will provide you, I will insert some script here. So that script I will enter. 1 second. So what it will do means whenever EC2 instance is getting launched, it will try to install this application. So that method you will call bootstrap. Just remember, whatever the operation you're performing or installing some application or doing something, then that operation they will call bootstrap. Just remember, if you see here, this bootstrapping means while launching EC2 instance, if you are trying to provide some commands or script to install something, that process we'll call bootstrap. Just remember what is bootstrapping. If somebody asks you, just tell them whenever EC2 instance getting launched, if you want to install something or if you want to do some operation, then that process we'll call bootstrap methodology. So now I will be installing something here. I'm writing bash script here. Yes. So Linux we have class that I will my friend next class like after this AWS he will cover Linux. Don't worry. So just I'm providing some script here. Systemctl start httpd system ctl enable httpd. So need to pass some message. Go. I'll write and slash h1. And then this output I'll paste into slash w html. So now, while launching this Amazon Linux system, I am installing some software. So these like web-based web application. Update. I'm updating the system. I'm installing this software on this Linux machine. I'm enabling this one. I'm passing some message. So that's it. So I'm doing this so I can perform this action after instance is launched as well. You can able to do it, but I need to install this application whenever instance is getting launched. So that method we'll call bootstrap. So this bootstrap I'm doing it, just launch an EC2 instance. So key pair, without key pair also I can provide. I don't need key pair because I will not using I will be not using this putty and all. I will use EC2 connect only from this web browser. I need to connect. Okay, without key pair I'm proceeding it. So just launch it. So see, different ways to connect EC2 instance. With key pair or without key pair, it's up to you. If you don't have key pair, you can able to connect the EC2 instance only web based only. From here only you can able to connect. If you have key pair, you can connect from your local using putty or mobile strum. Whatever the options you have, you can able to connect. So now I have launched an EC2 instance with user data. That means user data if you're providing means whenever EC2 instance is getting launched, I will be installing some applications on that EC2 instance. So that process will call bootstrap. So let me terminate these EC2 instances. So if you want to terminate these EC2 instances, go to instance state, just terminate it. Only if you want to stop the EC2 instance, go to here, stop the EC2 instance. Okay, there is a difference reboot and restart. Just remember there is a difference between reboot and restart. Whenever you do reboot of your EC2 instance, what are the applications which is running on inside applications, it will get restarted. If you do restart, that means stop and start. If you do entire server, it will get restart. Just remember there is a difference between reboot and restart. Whenever you do restart, entire server it will get restart, including OS disk and all. But whenever you do reboot, only the applications which is running on that server it will get restarted. Just remember that point. Okay, I'm just terminating this one. I don't need that instances. So now only my one instance is running. Okay. So now the applications which I have installed, I can able to access from browser as well. So let me try. I will copy this public IP address. I'll paste it here. So now I can't able to reach. Why? Because I have not allowed this internet security port numbers like HTTP or HTTPS. HTTPS means, see here, for this application, if you see, if you are accessing, you can see lock symbol. If I click on this lock symbol, there will be security keys will be there. So that keys they have purchased for 1 year or 3 years. But now I'm not purchasing any keys and all. So now what I have to do means in this EC2 instance, go to security group. So anything, I just open the port number only double SSH port number 22. That means I can able to log into the server, but I can't access from that server. So if you want to access applications which are running on that EC2 instance, you need to open other port numbers. So now here, if I go to down, there will be HTTP port number, 80 port number. I have to open from anywhere. Just save. That application port number also 80. That is the reason I'm opening this 80 port number on this EC2 instance security groups. So now I'll see whether I'm able to reach that instance or not. So you see here, I can able to get the response. The application which I have installed while launching EC2 instance, it is giving some response. Like why, like how I am getting this response in the sense, in that EC2 instance security group, I have to open the port number 80, HTTP port number I have to open. Then only I can able to get. Why? Because the application I have installed, it will be running on port 80. So that is the reason I have opened this 80 port number from anywhere. So this IP, the instance public IP I have copied here. Just I copied this IP and pasted here. So it is not secure as of now because I don't have any keys. I didn't purchase any keys and all. It's just a sample application I have deployed. So I'm getting response. So like this, anything which is running on EC2 instance, it can be controlled by security groups. Whether you want to give access to someone or you want to block access to someone, anything can be done using the security groups. Just remember. So user data, this is how it will work. If someone asks you what is the bootstrap methodology in EC2 instance in a sense or in AWS cloud, whenever we are launching EC2 instances, if you want to install some application or if you want to get some details from internet while launching itself, those scripts you need to provide in the user data section where it will be available in sense. Go down, advanced details, you can able to see user data. Here you can upload file or you can able to write the script as well. Using this script, it will do that operations. That process we'll call bootstrap. So that is how I've installed one application here. Okay, I can able to log in. See, it's not that mandatory you have to do user data. You can able to do this operation after installation as well. But I don't want that burden. I have to be done whenever EC2 is getting launched. So then you have to use this user data section to install. Once it is launched, if you want to access that application, whichever the application, so you need to that application port number you have to open. See, by default HTTP port number, if I enter in a browser, see here, HTTP works on 80 port number or port 43. So there will be some port numbers for each and every application. See here, one more port number. If I MySQL port number, MySQL is database. So port number, default port number is think double three, yeah, 3306. This is the port number of MySQL database. So you need to know that port numbers of that application's default port numbers. If you open that port numbers, then only your application it will work. Okay, instead of 80 in the secured group, if I open 443, I can't able to access my application here because I don't have any security keys. If I open other port number, I can't able to access because that application which is running on 80 only. So that is the reason I have opened 80 port number. Then only I can able to access my application. So like this, applications can be accessed from browser using this port numbers which you need to open. Okay, just remember these are the basics about EC2 instance. How to launch, how to connect, what is user data, and just remember these port numbers. Okay, so these port numbers and security groups we have seen, and these port numbers you have to remember. Windows Server 3389, Linux Server 22. If these port numbers are open in the security groups of that instance, then only you can able to access that servers. Otherwise, you are not able to access. Okay, just remember these port numbers and try to launch different servers. Try to do some connections or user data, whatever it may be. Okay, so tomorrow onwards, we'll see what are these instance types. All those things we'll see from top to bottom. Okay, another two classes it will take for EC2 instance, just two or three. I'm not sure. It's gonna go. So just remember how to launch an EC2 instance. What are the types we have? Like how to Windows Server and Linux Server, how to connect, what are the port numbers has to be open, what is the security group at instance level, okay, and then what is like user data. So these all I have uh, taught you today's class. Just remember these things, and we'll go depth from tomorrow on EC2 instances. Yeah, if you have anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can plug out. Thank you. I'll stop my EC2 instance as of now.